Everything that your coach taught you about mindset is completely wrong. Be positive, trust people, manifest success. That advice has destroyed more entrepreneurs than bad products ever did. I'm Karam, the battle-tested lawyer for 20 years. I've advised entrepreneurs on over $1 billion worth of deals, and I've handled hundreds of matters in court. Now, I've seen what wins and what loses big. Now, the entrepreneurs who lose almost always have one thing in common: they trusted too much and too hard, and they didn't see the attack coming. So today, I'm going to give you the 5 core beliefs that protect you and maximize the value of your business. This is the mindset that winners never talk about. And by the end of the video, you'll have the exact beliefs that separate the entrepreneurs who survive from those who get destroyed. Let's jump right into it. So here's the problem. You're taught to be positive. What's the problem with that? To see the cup half full, to trust people until they give you a reason not to. Coaches tell you to visualize success, manifest abundance, assume good intentions, but that advice is going to get you destroyed, because while you're being positive, your enemies, they're being strategic. While you're trusting the handshake, they're reading the contract and they've got great lawyers. While you're assuming good intentions, they're plotting against you. They're finding your weaknesses. Nearly every entrepreneur I've represented in litigation made the same mistake. They trusted too hard. They fell in love and they never verified. They assumed good intentions when they should have assumed the worst and protected themselves with bulletproof documents. The clients who didn't pay, they trusted them. The partner who betrayed them, they trusted them. The contractor who stole their IP, they trusted them too much. Trust is not a strategy, and it's not a legal defense. It will leave you wide open to your 5 enemies, and you'll never survive the 7 danger zones to get to your destination without these 5 core beliefs to be embedded in your brain and in your business. That core belief number 1 is business is war. This is indisputable. And belief number 1, for a reason, it sets the tone for your entire mindset. This isn't negativity, this is reality, and it's certainly not a new concept. This comes straight from the art of war. Sun Tzu wrote about this thousands of years ago, and if you haven't read it, I highly suggest you do, because the principles of war apply directly to business and they're timeless. Understand this: you have 5 enemies. We all do. They're the 5 C's. They're your clients, the competitors, the challengers, the cops, and the crown. 5 forces that are actively trying to take away what you've built and thwart your success. Now, you have danger zones in your business. There's at least 7 of them where these enemies attack: in your business structure, in your sales copy, inside your partnerships, inside your business deals, inside your intellectual property. And you have 101 deadly mistakes that enable your enemies and gives them the ammunition they need to take you down. This is a real battlefield. Don't ever get it twisted. And if you don't treat it like one, you're going to get destroyed by somebody who actually does. So when you internalize this belief, you're going to stop assuming people have good intentions. You start assuming they'll act in their own interests, because they will, and they often do. You stop skipping contracts because we're friends. You start documenting everything, because friends, they become enemies as well. Those are the challengers. You stop hoping nothing goes wrong, and you start preparing for everything that can. That's how you do it. You practice proactive power. Generals don't hope for peace. They prepare for war. That's how you need to think, because business is war. Guide yourself accordingly. And that's belief number 1. That sets the foundation for everything. Now, belief number 2, I learned as early as 5 years old, and that's what separates the amateurs from the pros. You have to earn your trophy. There's no shortcuts, no hacks. You hear me? Hacks. I didn't grow up with that word. We didn't know shortcuts. A hack to us was a clown or a fraudster. That's a weird word. There's no one weird trick that makes you successful. No matter how many gurus on YouTube talk about the hacks and the shortcuts that you dream of, there are none. And you have to understand that it's all hard work, and it's shit that nobody feels like really doing, because champions, they aren't born. They're built through training, through discipline, through failure and adversity. In my life, between school and sports taught me so much more about business than anything else. This concept of earning your trophy, I lived it. Growing up, I played lots of sports, and I loved basketball. And I realized in order to win my one-on-one championships, which I did, I had to focus on not just offense, which I love to score, shoot threes, dribble around, but I had to focus on defense, playing shutdown defense, right? I had to listen to my coach. I had to train. I had to do the things that weren't sexy or fun, but I ended up loving defense and shutting people down. I became the one-on-one champion year after failing a lot because I focused on defense. And that's what distinguished me in basketball, in football, hockey, every sport I played, and in business. I had to earn my trophies because I always played the older kids. We never got participation trophies growing up. So to excel at the highest levels, athletes have coaches. They have playbooks. They train offense and defense. They strategize, and the high performers in business are no different. They emulate pro athletes and they adopt their winning mindset. So you've got to earn your trophy. It won't be easy, but once you appreciate this, you'll stop looking for the shortcuts and the hacks, the excuses, and you'll stop wasting your time. You start building real systems. You stop thinking that you can figure it out alone. You get yourself a great mentor. You start getting coaches that are battle tested, who've been where you want to go and can help you. So you have to earn your trophy. That's the trophy that nobody's going to hand it to you. They're not going to give it to you just because you filed an LLC or you registered your trademark or you created a funnel and you sold a course. Nobody cares. And that's my little rant. And if you like what I'm saying, subscribe, hit the like button, drop me a comment, tell me which belief hits the hardest for you at the end of this video. So let's jump to core belief number 3, and that's defense wins championships. I can't stress this enough. You see how all of this is coming together, how it's all meant to change your mindset from offense to defense, to sharpen your skills and knowledge. Again, for me, sports and business couldn't be more similar. In business, like in sports, everybody's obsessed with offense. And offense, I mean sales, marketing, funnels, growth, revenue, branding. Offense is sexy. Offense gets the headlines. Offense is what gurus sell you. It gets you points, it makes you feel good. But here's what nobody's telling you. Offense gets you in the game. Defense wins the trophy. Now you can make millions in business, and I've seen it, and you can lose it all in one lawsuit. You can build a 7-figure business to only lose it to a bad partner who defrauded you. You can make millions until the FTC catches up to you and your deceptive marketing and your unsubstantiated claims. And you can build an amazing brand to lose it overnight because you had no IP protection. The bigger you grow, the bigger you're a target, and the more you have, the more there is to lose. You can't outgrow your vulnerabilities. Growth without protection is just building a bigger house on that quicksand. So when you realize this, you're gonna stop thinking, I'll deal with protection later. You're gonna start building defense before you need it. Because by the time you need it, it's often too late. So to do it right, build a system, have a battle-tested lawyer in your corner, invest in the right contracts, the right structures, have the right SOPs that will protect your company and maximize its value. Because the teams that win the Super Bowl, they're always the team with the best defense. And even if they're underdogs, like me and you, their defensive mindset keeps them sharp and vigilant. And that's how you avoid getting destroyed. Now, core belief number 4 is to learn from the mistakes of others. And I also learned this one in elementary school as well. It's nothing new, but it's so important and timeless. So important because mistakes are good to make and learn from. Now, most mistakes, but not legal mistakes. And that's what we're talking about here. These are especially the ones you want to learn from others, because the price of a legal mistake isn't just money and lawyers, it's your business, it's your brand, it's everything you built. It's pain and suffering. Now, I borrowed this principle from Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, who don't just study success, they studied failure like I did. And they always ask what kills businesses before they ask what makes them grow. This is called inversion. Instead of asking how to win, always ask how you could lose. Then avoid those things, because it's easier to avoid dumb things than to do brilliant ones. So when you adopt this belief, you stop thinking you're the exception and you start studying what destroys businesses. You stop waiting to learn the hard way. You learn from others who already did, and that's what I'm doing. I'm teaching you through inversion. They paid the tuition, you get the lesson for free. And I've got so many priceless, battle-tested lessons for you to learn from that make up my system. Now, core belief number 5 is practice proactive power. Now, this is where it all comes together. And if you've ever studied the laws of power, you know what I'm talking about. The laws of power aren't just for politics or history. They're incredible for entrepreneurs and business owners, right? You got to really take a deep dive into them. I take certain laws of power and I apply them directly to business defense. Now, power protects you and power maximizes your value. Being an entrepreneur is all about acquiring, controlling, and retaining power. And what's power? It's contracts that give you leverage and control. It's a business structure that protects your assets. It's intellectual property that's safeguarded, monitored, and bulletproof that gives you power and maximizes the value of your business. It's partnerships and business deals with clear agreements that you can exit from, maneuver from, and benefit from. That's real power. Reactive entrepreneurs, they get surprised. They scramble around, they hire lawyers after the damage is done. You don't want to be there, and they end up losing. Proactive entrepreneurs, they build power before they need it, and they build the structure to defend and retain that power. So when the enemy attacks, they're not worried about it. So remember, these 5 beliefs, they're not about being negative. They're not about being paranoid. They're about being prepared and being battle tested. Because in 20 years of business and law, these are the best 5 beliefs that are going to keep you alive and ahead of the game. And once you learn them, you can learn the problem solving skills that go with them. Inversion, IRAC, understanding that the cup is half empty. This is how you adopt the right mindset to beat the 5 enemies, survive the 7 danger zones, and avoid the 101 deadly mistakes. And you can become a winning entrepreneur by thinking like a lawyer, by inverting the losing recipe that I can show you. That's how I created Legally Bulletproof. It's a real system, and it starts with defense. So if you're an entrepreneur and you want to know if your business is legally exposed, which I bet it is, take the free risk report. The link's in the description below. It's literally 5 minutes. It's based on my system. You'll see exactly where your blind spots are across all 7 danger zones. And most importantly, how to start fixing your vulnerabilities before it's too late. And as a bonus, I also have a free guide that I created where I can show you how the laws of power apply to client interactions and how to use those laws of power to protect yourself from toxic clients. Check it out. The link's in the description below. I'm Karam Nahas, the battle-tested lawyer. Remember, defense wins championships. Get legally bulletproof.